no, it was unfortunate with John Tell, but that's hopefully better now than during the season. And his timetable coming back is that 6-week mark. And hopefully if it goes well, give or take a week. It just depends how he progresses, but it's a pretty standard injury. I've had a few players have that injury, and it wasn't when they went in there. I don't think it was real severe, but certainly needed the surgical intervention, as I think the press release stated so eloquently. But it's something that needed to be done, and we'll hopefully get him back as soon as possible. Malcolm is progressing slowly, but he's progressing. It's just part of that deal. So again, I don't know without either of those two, it'll be and I've said this before, and even in our system, the way we play it, it'll be by committee on the offensive end, sharing the ball. At times we may look at playing big. At times, depends how the early season practices progress with some of those young guys who could handle it. You have Taylor, you have Tevin. Times we even used Joe in Europe, a couple of possessions or a couple of stretches there. But it always comes down to defensively, and that's why our team defense will be so important. That's as important or more important in a situation like this. So again, John Tells is not a long-term thing. It's a matter of him just healing well from the surgery and getting back as soon as possible. And originally it was 6 weeks, so hopefully it's right in there. Or if things go well, who knows if it's a little quicker. Yeah, I think we'll have to be more of a balanced attack this year. Certainly, I think certain guys will have to step up and be even more assertive in their scoring roles. Namely, you look at the stat sheet, and Joe Harris is our second leading scorer. And but we'll have to get it. I think it'll be more of a balanced attack. As I said, hopefully 4 or 5 guys that are in that whatever 8 to 12 range, as opposed to we weren't real balanced last year. But it absolutely losing a player that drew the attention that Mike Scott did will present some challenges. But I think we'll have to do it more probably with ball movement, player movement. A lot of our offense was geared towards getting the ball to Mike in certain spots and letting him go to work, where I think we'll look a little different this year. And I think once John Tell gets healthy, we saw from the European trip, he's improved his offense as well. I mean, a lot of guys have improved, and I think it's that increment of improvement will be the difference for us, but it's not going to be one guy. Joe Harris is probably the most natural guy that could go for a big game or have big numbers, but it's going to have to be the Paul Jespersons and the other guys. And again, I saw little improvements from each guy from an offensive standpoint from the summer, so that those improvements hopefully will make the difference. Yeah, it's a challenging schedule on the road. We play at Mason. Certainly we're doing that, and then some good teams coming here, and you've got to get to the NIT in Madison Square Garden, you have to be successful. So there's no question we're not easing our way into it. And with a younger team, obviously with only the one senior and the 2 juniors and Akil and Joe, it's the experience factor. It's going to be important, and I hope that some of the European tour helped, but they'll definitely this first 3 weeks of our training camp or preseason practice, however you want to define it, are going to be very important. And then we'll certainly be throwing some guys into great situations for them to grow and stretch themselves, and we'll need contributions from everybody. This will have to be more than in the past, a balanced attack and guys contributing and relying on each other more than just, hey, bail us out of the hole if we're in trouble, one guy. And I think that makes, if we can become that way, I think it makes you a harder team to defend when you have more options and you're not just focusing on one guy. But we need to get certainly our guys healthy. When Malcolm and John Tell are back, that'll make us very different and I think effective. Yeah, I mean, we just want to play good basketball. Certainly we'd love a chance to, finish well in the conference and try to get into postseason play. I think that's always a goal for us, and build on. We'll be a different team, but still build on what we did last year. I think we'll, as I said, look different, but I think there's opportunities for success. And again, because of our age, and again, I thought we would have at this stage more of a mature team. I thought we'd have a number of upperclassmen, but with the departures and the transfers, that makes you have to take a step back and work with the younger guys. And I think some of these younger guys are probably going to have a really nice future, all things considered. But losing some of those transfers has made us more inexperienced. And I think that's the challenge. If we can overcome that, if those guys, because of the European trip, because of all the basketball they play, if they have the right mindset and can learn the system quickly and sort of find their way, I think we can be an effective team. But they still are first years and predominantly second years. So again, to be successful, and I think the future does look bright, I really do, with a player like Anthony Gill sitting out, the majority of players returning, and then what we have in the recruits coming in, addressing some areas that I think are important for us.